Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. The purpose of the call is to take all the participants on the call through an overview about the AgriTech4Rwanda Innovation Challenge that is currently open. We had given ourselves about 10 minutes for people to join. So I think we can start now. I'll start by introductions from my side, and then the colleagues on the call who will be leading or supporting on this webinar. So myself speaking, my name is 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗆𝗫𝗓𝗂𝗧𝗔. I am the investment analyst at the Rwanda Green Fund that hosts Ireme Invest, which will be the point of discussion for today. Maybe I can hand it over to my colleagues, 𝗔𝗽𝗿𝗶𝗍𝗏 for quick introductions, and then we can get started.
Thank you so much, Fabiola. My name is 𝗔𝗽𝗿𝗶𝗍𝗏, and I am the coordinator in this Rwanda Adaptation Accelerator program on behalf of CGIAR Hub for Sustainable Finance. That is the technical partner in this whole program. Thank you. Looking forward to the session.
Good morning, everyone. My name is 𝗦𝗃𝘄𝗍𝗶𝗱. I am part of the CGIAR Accelerate for Impact platform and part of the team that is executing the AgriTech4Rwanda Innovation Challenge. I'm looking forward to this session and interacting with you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is 𝗦𝗃𝘄𝗍𝗶𝗱, and I'm the Communications and Strategic Partnership Intern at Rwanda Green Fund. Thank you.
And hi, everyone. My name is Camille, and I'm working as Communication and Project Support at CGIAR Accelerate for Impact platform. Welcome.
Morning, everyone. My name is 𝗔𝗽𝗿𝗶𝗍𝗏. I am a young professional climate finance here at Rwanda Green Fund. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for a quick round of introduction. So for the participants on the call, we're going to provide a brief overview about the AgriTech4Rwanda Innovation Challenge, the whole idea of it, why, what are we aiming for, what should the businesses expect at the end of the program or throughout the program, and then we will open it up to the flow of questions to address any questions that you might have. So yeah, allow me to turn off my video because of the connection issues. So for maybe to give a bigger overview about even why does this program exist, it comes all the way from the country level priorities of the government of Rwanda in terms of the climate action plan or even the green agenda. So as some of you on the call might know, we have about 4 strategies in place. One about the Vision 2050, another one on the National Strategy for Transformation, the Climate Action Plan, as well as the Green Growth and Climate Resilience Strategy. So all these strategies are in place to guide it when it comes to the climate action agenda, be it in terms of becoming a carbon neutral economy or resilient economy by 2050, be it in terms of what's the amount of funding that is needed to support both mitigation and adaptation initiatives, both in public and private sector, which is actually the reason or the fruit of why we have this call out, is to support all these strategies that are in place from the country level perspective, because we believe the private sector is very much placed to address these challenges that we have to actually fight or face in different ways. So yeah, these are the strategies, even in terms of when you're making your application, when when you're trying to relate your solution to the bigger relevance, that's the strategies that your solution should be keeping in mind. So speaking of that, we have Ireme Invest. Some of you might have heard before. Ireme Invest is a private investment facility that is hosted by the Rwanda Green Fund and co-hosted by the Development Bank of Rwanda. The whole idea of this facility is to provide access to finance to the private sector in general. So we have the project preparatory facility and we have the credit facility, but specifically for this program, it will be under the project preparatory facility that sits under the Rwanda Green Fund, and the provision will be a recoverable grant, meaning it's a grant that is repayable, but it's interest-free. So that means it's like an interest-free loan, but you just pay back the principal amount, and you don't have to have collateral, if I can say. So the AgriTech4Rwanda Innovation Challenge falls under the bigger umbrella of Ireme Invest, which feeds into the national strategies, which is the reason why we started by giving even that high overview of what do we consider or what are we aiming for from the country level to now even the bottom level of Ireme Invest facility itself. So the ticket size for this program will be about 300 million, up to 300 million Rwandan francs. That has to be repayable. And in terms of the terms, etc., I think we can address that once we get to the questions or open the floor for more information. So then what's AgriTech4Rwanda Innovation Challenge? What is it about? So it's an acceleration program that aims to accelerate the Rwanda's agri-food transformation by advancing science-driven, market-ready agri-tech climate solutions. So, and the whole business solution should be designed for smallholder farmers. So any business solution should be for supporting or advancing the livelihoods of smallholder farmers, because the funding that will be provided, it will be, yes, to scale up the technologies that enhance climate resilience, but as well strengthen the adaptive capacity, but even the livelihoods of the farmers. So the objective of the overall Ireme, even this program in specific, it's to develop a pipeline that is very high impact and market driven, that is science-based innovation that can help farmers really navigate through the climate risks and sustain the productivity in this climate change ecosystem. And then we also have the transformation catalysis, which means the whole objective is to drive agri-food system transformation in line with the Rwanda strategic plans, be it for the agricultural strategic plan, be it the climate action plan of the country, be it the NST2. So everything that we actually do is to help the transformation and achievement of the strategies that we have on the country level to actually achieve the overall goal. So even when writing your proposal, even when writing your solution, your business solution, make sure that the relevance of how this fits in the bigger solution that the country tries to solve is really clear. And then last but not least, we're looking to finance innovation for impact, meaning we're going to provide technical assistance needed for scaling really your solutions, your startups in a de-risk manner, so that even the other financiers would be willing and comfortable to come in for the solution. Yeah, and then in terms of the essential features for this program, it will be a revolving concessional facility, meaning we have different partners on board, from the banking sector to insurance sector to the aggregators in terms of the connection and network of farmers. And the whole idea is to provide a blended finance instrument that offer way below the market or its concessional capital de-risked investment. And we aim to provide the repaid capital, as I had said in the first place, that the recoverable grant will be repayable, but it's just that it doesn't carry interest and it doesn't, we don't require collateral. So we'll do the assessment, we'll provide technical assistance to hedge against all the risks that can be applied to your business solution. And as I said, we're working with banks. The banks will also be providing low interest loans in terms of working capital needs, but this will be dependent on like the acceleration program, the outcomes from it. And then it's going to work as a total de-risking facility, because the whole idea is, how do we make your business de-risked in a way that other investors would be willing to come on board and really support your business, make it to the level of comfort for financial providers. And then at the top of the financing, we have the technical assistance that will be provided across all levels, be it from the banks that you'll be working with, be it with the business itself, like what risks do you have to hedge against? How do you make sure that you grow your business in terms of business-wise, but also climate-related climate adaptation practices in general. And then in terms of timeline of activities, already the call for application is already out. It was out from the 18th. The deadline is April 16th. We are going to start the selection process from as soon as the call closes, which is 17th of April until the beginning of May. Then in mid-May, we're going to have a bootcamp for shortlisted applicants. We're looking at up to 25 teams to be shortlisted for the bootcamp. This is going to be a 3-day bootcamp where the businesses are going to have a chance to interact with the program organizers, but also have an idea of, okay, when you say climate adaptation, what do you mean? When you say climate risks in agriculture, what do you mean? When you say making my business de-risked, what do you mean? Basically, so that we can have that first interaction in terms of master classes, like 2-3 master classes, but as well at the end of the bootcamp, which is a 3-day bootcamp, there will be an opportunity for pitching your solution. So at the end of the bootcamp, we're going to shortlist up to 15 teams that are going to progress. So that means participation in the bootcamp is highly required, because the participants who are not going to make it to the bootcamp will not be able to proceed to the next stage. So once the shortlisted teams are identified, the 15, then they will go into the acceleration program, which will take up to 3 months. And the reason of acceleration program is to make sure that we really provide the tailored business support, as we have mentioned, to the business itself, that is tailored to the business model, that goes into the climate adaptation practices, that goes into what products do you need when it comes to financing products. Do you need guarantees? Do you need insurance? Do you need recoverable grant loan? But all the additional instruments I'm saying will be on the top of the recoverable grants once we have the top 5 selected companies. So at the end of the acceleration period, there's going to be a final demo day where we'll identify up to 5 selected businesses that will receive up to 300 million, as it has been communicated before. Then afterwards, it will be post-accelerator program. Now, when it comes to priority areas, we're looking at about 6 priority areas, but also open to other agri-tech innovation solutions that might be aligned with the climate adaptation needs, that it's not on this list. So we have irrigation solutions, we have the resilient livestock practices from innovations for cows and goats. We have precision farming, which will be looking at smart agricultural technology. We have the climate and weather services that provide data-driven insights for farmers. We have climate resilient inputs from drought-tolerant seeds, fertilizers, as well as nutrient-rich crops. And we have post-harvest management ranging from cold storage, processing solutions, digital storage in general. And as I said, if there are any other agri-tech solutions that your business is solving for, feel free to also apply and explain how that relates to the AgriTech itself. So the selection criteria, the selection committee is composed of different partners, as we had even started introducing ourselves. I think maybe we'll talk about the partners in this program on the last slide. But we will all sit on the selection committee to assess in terms of your solution when it comes to the applicability to the context of Rwanda, in terms of the scientific relevance, does it really scientifically make sense? And then in terms of what's the proven financial track record of your business, in terms of its uniqueness and innovation, in terms of its sustainability and scalability, is it really scalable? Or like after the funding is finished, is it something that can actually sustain itself and run for more other years to even crowd in more investment? And then it will also be what's really the impact when it comes to farmers' resilience and climate adaptation itself, because this is the bigger picture of what we are planning or even aiming for this program to achieve. And then last but not least is the emphasis on the team capacity. Is it a team that is dedicated to the full-time implementation of the project? Do you have members, or is it an individual? We will really look into those details when it comes to the team capacity. I'll hand it over now to my colleague, 値𝗀𝗃 to give you a little bit overview about the venture space itself, the application portal you're currently using for applying. 値𝗀𝗃, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Fabiola, for that. I think that is very clear. And as we progress, please feel free to type in your questions in the chat box. So how do we apply for this innovation challenge? It's very simple. From the call for application, you'll get a link that will lead you to the venture space where you begin your application. And this is what you'll see. That's a screenshot of how to start your application. It's very simple. So create your profile on the venture space and make sure that you provide the correct information when you're typing in this profile. Once you've set up your profile, you'll be directed now to the application page. It takes about 30 minutes to complete. So if you have all the information, you can actually do it within 30 minutes. However, you can also fill in, maybe you don't have that time to complete the application. You can fill in that application and save it. Do not click on the submit and review and submit button. You can save it and log in later to come and complete it. So once this is done and you've reviewed, you'll be given an option to review your application, check that all the documents that are required and also all the information you provided is correct. Review it as a team so that you don't miss out on anything. And once you've done that, you can click on the submit button. Allow yourself time, if you can, to complete this and submit to avoid last-minute technical difficulties, because sometimes this happens. So don't rush on the last day, which you've been given. That's in April of 19th, to complete that application. Have time to do it. There are issues that might arise, internet issues, power connectivity. So don't wait until the last minute. You better start now. And if your application is also in draft, please log on to the venture space and complete it so that you do not miss out on the deadline, which is coming up very fast. These days, time flies very fast. So we encourage you to do that application. Next slide, please. I think I've mentioned some of these items already, but this is generally how it looks like. When you go to the application page, this is what you'll see. It will also lead you back to the Ireme Invest page where you can get more information about the call in case you're not sure of what is required. You can be able to see what are the priority areas, what are we looking at, what areas do you need, what criteria is being used to categorize some of these applications, and then it will guide you more on how to do the application. This is the save button that we are talking about. So you save your application before, if you're not sure about the submission, then once you've done it, you can review and submit. That's the overview. So basically, this is how the venture space will look like. And please remember that the deadline is on the 16th of April. So just be alert on that timeline so that you do not miss out on that application. Over to you, back to you, Fabiola, for the partners.
Thank you, Ǹkēsọ̀. So in terms of the partners, as I had briefly mentioned about it, so we have 3 partners that are partnering with the Rwanda Green Fund to actually make sure that this program is as successful as possible. So we have the CGIAR Hub for Sustainable Finance. They're the key technical partner for investors, lenders, insurers in integrating science-based solutions. And they are able to support by developing data-driven solutions, quantifying climate and environmental risks and impacts, as well as enhancing post-investment impact monitoring, reporting, and verification. For this specific program, they will be providing technical assistance for climate adaptation-related practices through masterclasses, one-on-one coaching, capacity building, etc., anything related to climate-related aspects. And then we have the CGIAR Accelerate for Impact platform, which is a venture space for innovation that helps turn science into real-world solutions by delivering science-based, tech-driven solutions for agriculture. So yeah, they could design innovations with partners, they accelerate the business's development as well as deployment. And they also are very experienced when it comes to de-risking the businesses to make them more investable and scalable. So they are also assisting when it comes to the innovation challenge methodology, like the whole program, how it's going to work, the timelines, the implementation, and then they're also the hosting the applications through the venture space. And then the whole program has been supported by the Gates Foundation, that I think most of you are very familiar with it, that is playing a role in supporting agricultural development in different ways, in different parts of the world. And the whole emphasis is really to help smallholder farmers to increase their productivity, adapt to climate change, and as well as access local and regional markets. So they are the donor funder of this program. And then even Rwanda Green Fund, which is a government institution, a green investment vehicle for the country that mobilizes, catalyzes, and invests in climate-related solutions. All right, that marks the end of our presentation. Now we have entered into the Q&A. Maybe I will ask Justine if there are already some questions on the chat that you would want to.
Thank you so much,
If there are
Fabiola.
any questions. Yes.
Yes, we have some questions in the chat. One is asked by Shadrach. He said that, I'm going to quote as it is, I have a question I'd like to ask like this. My question says, can someone make any application with a business idea which has not yet started working, written by not registered in Rwanda? That means not having the R&D certificate. Maybe responding to this, you must have the certificate and it has to be patented, as in you need to really have the solutions as yours. Maybe if you read through the application, everything is detailed and it has to be, you need to be certified that the product is yours. So if you have an idea, how do we know it's yours? It has to now have a proof of rights to that. Then we have Imakile, that she mentioned that, do you merely select the project that entails technology, or any project regardless of the type, tackling agriculture and climate change vulnerability? Maybe responding to this, we had previously had another same program but different. You had we were scaling the businesses that are already providing adaptation solutions, but now they are not tech. So this current challenge is typically for AgTech. So it has to be a data-driven solution, which is now tech typically, and just to ensure that you have made other projects, but this typically it speaks to the AgTech. Maybe Fabiola, if you wanna add something regarding the circular economy that is different, but we want to make sure that we clear that we have different projects and programs that speaks to agriculture and other sectors, but this is more of adaptation and speaks to AgTech specifically. And then we have Keith Kamoso. He mentioned that we have the company is registered in Rwanda with RDB certificate. Does this include not Rwandan founded companies, but also international company with RDB registrations? Maybe you can clarify on this, whether it means locally registered company or 100% locally found and owned company. Nekesa or Fabiola, do you want to take that?
Yes, maybe I can come in on this. So all the solutions have to be registered in Rwanda, and the solution should be addressing problems in Rwanda. So it should be solutions that are implemented and operating in Rwanda, because as I had started sharing from the country level strategies to the whole existence of the program, it's really for Rwandan markets. And the bigger picture is to really complement the existing strategies in place when it comes to agri-food systems, when it comes to agriculture sector in Rwanda. So yeah, the solutions has to be the owner or the people who owns that business. It's not necessarily that they have to be Rwandese, but as long as the solution itself, it's on Rwandan soil, implemented in Rwanda. It can be even elsewhere, but then the component that will be supported will be that one for Rwanda. So you can be of any nationality, but you have to be registered and operating in Rwanda.
Yes, thank you so much for the clarification. We have Nyamina Jean-Baptiste. He asked the question of transparency. Can you tell us the winners of last year's accelerator? Thank you. How do you ensure the transparency? I'll hand it to Fabiola, please, for clarification on that.
Thank you, Jean-Baptiste. So in terms of transparency, we make sure that throughout the program, as communicated, even from the timelines, we ensure that we communicate as we implement. So from the selection of shortlisting 25, for example, in this context, it will be like either announced through our LinkedIn platforms, social media platforms, as well as even on the website, if need be. And then if we get to the 15, we are also going to announce. If we get to the final, we're also going to communicate. So every stage, depending on the program itself, communicate. For the last year's accelerator program, we communicated the top 31 because it was a different approach. We communicated the top 31 that entered into the program. And then when we reached to the final stage of selecting top 9, also posted about the top 9, communicating these are the winners for the program, etc. So when it comes to transparency, we're sure to communicate with the public, with the applicants themselves. So yeah, we communicate through the implementation of the program, both to the businesses themselves, but also to the public, depending on which stage.
Thank you so much, Fabiola. And yeah, I hope Jean-Baptiste, you responded and it's clear. Yes, the program has transparency. The whole process is explained and it follows a very clear path and communicated to the participants. We have another question from 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗱 that I was asking, if I deal with poultry farming, am I allowed to apply? Just to encourage you to apply if you are doing the poultry farming, but using technology. It might be a biotechnology. Maybe you're having an improved feed that you need to provide data to really support that and make sure that it's a novelty to the agriculture sector. So it doesn't have just to be a conventional poultry farming. We all know people have different system of farming poultry and everything, but what does it bring differently from the normal farming that we have? So that it has to be supported and prove that it is a tech, which might not specifically be the AI, the technology that we all know, but now it may be different way that you maybe do your feed, or different, as it has to really be bringing in the component of tech itself. So you need to really prove that it's not going to be just poultry farming, because we have different poultry farmers. So what makes you different? Is it really a tech? Then we need to, it has to be proven when applying. Yeah, so we have another question from scrolling. Nyaminan again. He has asked a question of, many agri-related entities in Rwanda are exempted from taxes. Why do you require tax clearance? Just also clarify, you may be, yes, you are exempted. You also need to provide that clearance that is zero. I hope I understand it well. You always have a tax clearance that is zero. You declare, but you won't pay anything. Given that if you're in primary production, you declare that and you won't pay anything. So we need to have a proof of that. Another one, I'm scrolling through the chats before I go to the Q&A. Balthazar mentioned that on last tables, what mean B2B sales, B2C sales, B2G sales? Do you want to take that, Nekesa or Fabiola?
I can take that. So when we say B2B sales, it means business to business. So for example, your organization is doing direct sales with a company, a fertilizer company like Yara or 1Acre Fund. So it's a B2B arrangement. So it's a business to business. When it says B2C, it means it's a sale that you're directly selling to a customer. So it's business to customer. So you're doing a sale directly maybe to a farmer or directly to an individual. So it's not an organization per se. B2G is business to government. So this is more like the Rwanda government. Maybe you did a procurement through tender that then you sold to the government. So we need information about that if you've done it. But again, if you don't have, don't panic. Just indicate that you don't have this. Just indicate that in the question. Yeah. Maybe Fabiola, not anything.
Okay, I think you have responded and it's clear. And Balthazar has also, he had mentioned that he sent a follow-up question that you need to make it clear on those tables. I think Nekesa has explained. Unless if you're not satisfied, feel free to still send the chat and ask for more clarification. But if you have already detected is dealing with those models, B2B, business to business, business to customers, business to government, feel free to mention that. And if you're making some revenues, then fill in the tables. Yeah. And then we have Keith Kamoso. He mentioned that if you have a consultant applying, can you apply for this, or it is strictly geared towards one company? Maybe Kamoso, if I respond to this, yes, you can apply, the consultant can apply, but you need to prove the collaboration, partnership, maybe contracts. How do we ensure that you're already working together? Maybe one does this, maybe this does that. Then we need to have the contracts uploaded. So when you apply, you have a way in the portal where to upload all those supporting documents to make sure the consultant is understood. How do we ensure that the consultant is really doing the right, in bringing the right solutions? It might be just that you are partnering, but we don't see the relevance of the partnerships. It has to be really proven that the consultant is there and we have the agreements. Yeah, so the agreements need to be uploaded too if you are having a consultant. I hope I have responded well. Nnekesa and Fabiola, feel free to jump in and compliment me. Okay, so we have 𝗙𝗊𝗏𝗂𝗂 again. Since this is a recoverable grant, could you share a light on terms and conditions, say timeline, installments, etc.? Fabiola, I'll hand it to you so you can maybe explain on this.
Yes, thank you. So when it comes to the recoverable grant itself, the terms and conditions, as I said, you have to pay back the principal amount. It doesn't have interest. And then the tenor is up to 5 years for you to pay back. Depending on the predictability, how your cash flows are predictable, then we can require you to pay as soon as you start, let's say 3 months in the business implementation. If your business requires a grace period, then we can give you up to 6 months, 1 year, but then this is all dependent on the panel of experts that really assess your financial health to see from the revenue perspective, how are your cash flows going to look like in terms of repayment. But the tenor is 5 years, it's interest-free, and we don't require you to have collateral, but the amount of money to give you, or even in terms of how quick do you start paying, that would be dependent on the cash flows of the business. So it's very dependent on the stage of the business, on the cash flows. Yeah, so I think those are the bigger terms and conditions, if I may. And then in terms of the timelines, and installments, we usually disperse in 2 installments. So that means 50% first installment. As soon as you're done with using the funds, then we issue the second disbursement. So it's also the ratios when it comes to 50-50, it really depends. Depending on what you really have to implement, you might find that it's CapEx related, you need to import machinery that costs, let's say, 85% of that amount. We do the assessment, and if we need to do some hedging against any risk, be it credit risk or any risk that might arise, then we design something that is relevant to your business need. So, but we usually don't give the whole amount at once. We usually have installments, and then the ratios, the common one is 50-50, but we also do, we are flexible when it comes to certain exceptions. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I hope, 𝗙𝗊𝗏𝗂𝗂, you have responded. I'm gonna be quick because I have a lot of questions. Donat, you have asked about that you have an irrigation system that you don't require electricity. This can only be anchored on data when it comes to being a tech and be supported in this program. Happy to just tell you that you may not qualify in this program. You should have fitted in the last accelerator program, but if you have a proof of it being a tech differently, it has to now prove that, and you are encouraged to apply if so. We have earlier.
Maybe, Justine, can I also comment on this?
Okay.
This is for profit-making companies. So this program is because, as I started saying, the Ireme Invest is for private sector. So that means you're recognized as a profit-making business. So if you're an NGO or a civil society organization, you might not be qualified for this program. I just wanted to flag that.
Oh yes, actually, I've skipped that, and I really had that in my mind to flag that too. Thank you so much. Alia will share the link for application. Stay on the, maybe Camille, you can share the link to application.
I shared it already, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. If I have a company of seeds multiplication, I'm able to apply. Same thing as I mentioned to Donat, something it has to be a data-driven technology. If so, you are encouraged to apply. And which purpose of this company to young in Rwanda says? I don't think your question is clear, but just to clarify, the current program is youth and gender inclusive. I hope it's what you meant. Kindly share the link for the application. Yes, it's gonna be shared. Okay. Tell us about the person who has project not yet big. Okay. Trying to understand. Copying, okay. Telling us about the person who has project not yet big. Okay, the project has to be registered. 𝗷𝗫𝗄𝗏, just to flag that it has to be registered, as mentioned. Can you include mobility in this program if it is happening in the agriculture supply chain? Yeah, Nekesa, did you get the question? If you can include mobility, given that he has a solution to agriculture.
Maybe let me come in. If it's bikes, like normal bikes that are helping farmers, etc., that's not applicable. But if it's a logistic solution that has, let's say, cold room in terms of how you help the farmers move their produce to the market, and it has a technology in terms of food storage to avoid the losses, etc., then yes, it's applicable. But if it's just like an e-vehicle, either in e-van or e-bike, that really doesn't have any specific feature for the produce or for agriculture itself, then it's not applicable.
I have Tochen that asked about the tea company. He mentioned that is the tea cooperative invited to apply? I'll allow Nekesa to take that, please.
I think maybe generally, if you have a product that you're selling, we are more keen on the tech part, like what is driving your product. So if you have a technology that you've implemented in your tea production that would make maybe work efficiency within the tea sector better, then yes, you can apply. But again, just including what Fabiola said, it has to be like a profitable business that is already existing, that is eligible now to apply. That technology must already be commercially in the market. Yeah, so that applies to probably all the other products that I see quite a number of questions about in terms of seed, in terms of, and tea as well.
Yeah, we have many questions that are asking about the eligibility and the type of businesses. Just to maybe highlight that all the questions we have on the portal, we have 2 documents that are attached that you can read and see if your business really fits. But specifically when it comes to eligibility, you have really to fit in the selection criteria. I hope maybe Fabiola, you can project the selection criteria as we speak, so if they can maybe be seeing it, to maybe reduce the questions on that. As Phineas mentioned that, no, Dr. Mudakangwa, my business is to deal with fruits and vegetables processing into juice, jam, wine, and natural dried spirits. Am I eligible to apply? Nekesa, please take that.
I think it also ties in with the tea question, with the person who was asking about, I'm making some products. So if you have products, it's fine, but there has to be a technology that is driving what you're doing. How are you implementing the processing in an efficient way? Is it something that you are already commercially selling to other people so that they are also making their production of, the fruits and vegetables more efficient? So that's what we are keen in terms of the technology. Yeah.
Thank you, Yes, I think all the related questions that are responding to the efficiency, how do you really bring in, yes, you're doing, we have the component of post-harvest management, that's where the processing falls in, but how do you do it differently? How do you now respond to the post-harvest losses reduction? So it has to really be proven your part you're playing and the efficient way that you're doing differently. Yeah. We have a question of that a person is doing the irrigation system, but I can't register it in RDB. How do you do it if you're not registered yet? I also, please work on that first and apply for the future programs. I would like to ask about the intellectual property. Is it obligatory to register it or not? Nekesa, can you take that?
I think it depends on what type of IP is required, and that one you can always reach out to the intellectual property office within Kigali to guide you on, because there are some innovations that are open, but some require the protection. So if it is a novel and it is very unique to you, we highly encourage you to get IP on it, also not just for yourself, but also for the business going forward, to avoid other people from taking your innovation. So it's highly encouraged, especially if it's an innovation that you came up with. And probably, Fabiola, you can also guide in terms of the IP if there will be something around registration for those who might not have that registration and might require.
Not really. If you have it, then you can indicate that. If no, then you feel free to also proceed with the application. The only registration we're very strict about is the registration with the Rwanda Development Bank.
I had some question on the project of stone crushing. Oh, so many questions. To aggregates eligible. I don't know what if I get correctly, but he mentioned that they are crushing stones. They really qualify. No, you're not. Is it correct? No, you may not. Unless if no, you're not. Hello, there's a project about farming for, like, it's, let's say, bamboo, but focuses on giving housing construction solutions qualify. Yes, you need to prove now, because you're doing sustainable housing, how does a farmer come in, how does agriculture benefit from that? Please specify and we encourage to apply. Am I correct? Yes. That they're using, if I got it correct, they're using bamboo. But now, how do we now ensure that the agriculture sector benefit from that? If you have approval of it, then you encourage to apply. I hope I correctly answer that. And you have, oh, there are a lot of questions. Hi, is there any capacity building plan about this program? Definitely, this is a program that is gonna provide the capacity building in the acceleration program, making sure that the eligible companies selected are going to really have some master classes on different aspects, a bit on the business side and then the climate adaptation, and making sure that the businesses get to one level, from one level to another on the understanding when it comes to scaling up the businesses on the side of agriculture, and then the business side, making sure that, yes, they're gonna get the recoverable grant and making sure that they use it efficiently in the businesses and they scale and they achieve the intended impact. What about intellectual properties in the field of artificial intelligence, but in still implementation, almost like at 80%? I wish you could have clarified very well, but I think I got it. Yeah. Hi, is there any capacity building? Yes, we do have that. Most of Rwandese are not having companies registered in RDB. How do you support such companies while while you ask for documents. It has to be registered and know for sure with the businesses are registered and have the copy. Please work on that first. Send us the application link. Yeah, the application link is shared and you can still check it on Rwanda Green Fund. I hope I'll attend to every question in the chat. We have others in the Q&A. If some are not answered, we can still go for it. 𝗔𝗴𝗿𝗶𝗍𝗶 has asked a question of what do you mean by tech? Is it AI, software usage in agriculture, or any other equipment with tech which might bring solutions by responding to climate change and adaptation? 𝗦𝗫𝗊𝗿𝗶𝗆 can take the question. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think you've just elaborated it by mentioning how the tech can be applied. Most of the time it has to be data driven, so there must be some backing to what you're doing. There must be a reason as to why you're doing it. There must be a problem that you're addressing with this technology. And using AI software usage is just part of it. In agriculture, we are specifically in agriculture. So anything that would make efficiency along production, ensuring sustainable production, ensuring like logistics, what Fabiola mentioned, ensuring the efficiency in logistics, maybe traceability, so long as it's in the line of climate adaptation, reducing carbon emission. So those are the things that we are looking at. How can that innovation or your technology then address all this with ensuring that efficiency along the value chain? So we are looking at those we are looking at what you've already mentioned. So it's basically a part of it, but there's much more to it. So maybe I can just give you a little bit of more information regarding this. So we are looking at just give me a minute because I don't want to leave out anything. So we are looking at items that would include deep tech, biotech, clean tech, even fintech, but it has to be applied in agriculture. Then, of course, now looking at market intelligence, things around blockchain, things around AI, that's more tech. So we are looking around that. But in that whole aspect, then it must lead to some efficiency around the value chains that we are dealing with in agriculture, from farm to fork. So that's just in details, but we are going to also probably send it to all the applicants, just to be clear, and also encourage that you read through the application very well, because some of these descriptions are actually within the application forms. Yeah.
Thank you so much, 𝗦𝗫𝗊𝗿𝗶𝗆. I think you are responded to Samuel, and the details are provided clearly, but you can still send the questions to, if you have any question during the application, feel free to send an email to the provided email on the application form. If you have any questions that really may support you to have a successful application. And yes, we'll work on that and make sure that we share the presentation if it may be of relevance to your application. Feel free to stop me if we are running out of time. We have a question on what do you mean in proven financial track record as eligibility? Fabiola, I'll allow you to take that.
Thank you, Justine. In terms of the financial track record, is in terms of does your business, it speaks more into even business viability. Do you make money, right? Your business model, do you have customers? Like in terms of revenue, how does it look like? Is there growth? If there is no growth, then why? Like it's really in terms of does it make a business case? Because as we have said in the beginning, it's for profit-making organizations or businesses, because this is a recoverable grant. So that means your business has to make a business case, has to generate revenue, so that you have the cash flows both to sustain and scale your business, but also be able to pay back the principal amount. So that's what we mean by financial track record. Be it in historical time, how has your business been operating? Has it been making money, etc.? But also in terms of forecasts and projections, how are the cash flows looking like, the business products looking like? So yeah, that's what we mean by financial track record.
Thank you so much, Fabiola. I hope, Francine, you have been answered. Yeah, just to clarify that the session recording will be provided. After the session, we can share the recording so you can refer to your to it to make sure that you understand everything that has been provided as clarification to make sure that you have a successful application. There's someone that just asked about the extension of the application deadline. I think you still have time to do that correctly, and you'll make it on time. There won't be any extension of the deadline. Thank you. Yeah, I have exhausted all the questions. I'll hand it over to Fabiola for closing. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Justine. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will be closing it from here. Maybe just to say something, the deadline is on the 16th of April. It won't be extended. I saw some question about extension. We are on 4th and the deadline is on 16th. Make it a priority to submit in your application. If you have challenges, send questions to the email that is into the venture space. There is a space of questions, or maybe I can even type it on the chart. If you have questions, please feel free to send them in as you encounter them. Otherwise, if you are not able to submit before the deadline, which is 11:59 p.m. CAT on the 16th of April, then your application will not be considered. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.